Gentlemen, I wanted to work with you a little bit here on Naviance. That's why we're going to go ahead and create this video today to see if it's helpful in getting you to be able to use Naviance on your own. One of the things I want to show you tonight is how to navigate to Naviance, how to log in, how to go about securing letters of recommendation, how to request a transcript, how to load schools. This is pretty much the stuff that you're going to need to do right away with the program. So we're going to start from the beginning, walk you through from screen to screen, and I'll try to narrate as best I can from each screen. This is the first time I've ever done this, so bear with me if it's a little slow or at times I may repeat myself or say something incorrectly. I'll try to rectify that right away. So let's begin. We're going to go ahead and start by opening up a browser. In this case, I'm using Google Chrome. Mozilla Firefox will work as well. Internet Explorer is probably not going to be the best, so either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox is the one that I would use. Right now I'm using Chrome, as I said. So I'm going to go ahead and click on College and Career, and it's going to bring me to this page where it says Sign In. We're going to go ahead and click, and for you, you're going to click on Student and Families. It's going to prompt you for the school postal code, which is going to be 30501. You go ahead and enter. You'll have two choices, Lakeview Academy or Riverside Military Academy. Obviously, we're going to choose Riverside. And now, email. If you've not logged on to Naviance before, most likely the email or username, I should say, is going to be your last name followed by the first two letters in your first name. Mine's not going to be that. I've changed it to adjust to a different email address that I use. However, I'll say that again, yours will be your last name followed by the first two letters of your first name, just like your Riverside Cadet account. The password is going to be the same as the password that you used the first time you logged into your Riverside account as well. Once you log in, you can change this to whatever it is you want to be, make it consistent, all the same. I think that would be a great way to start and be consistent about all the passwords and usernames that potentially you're going to be using here as you start all these college applications. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and log in under the one I'm using. Enter my password, and I'm going to log in. Now, as you can see, I've made up a cadet name here. I've got Cadet, middle initial R, last name Rockstar. So anyway, I was kind of at a loss for names, so I went with that. As you can see, you're going to have tabs at the top, and the one that we're going to be focusing in on this session is colleges. So if I click on colleges, I'm going to look and notice there's going to be three tabulations, or links, pardon me. Colleges I'm thinking about, colleges I'm applying to, and letters of recommendation. We're going to work on colleges I'm applying to because at this point we're beyond the thinking about we need to actually start the application process. Now you'll note you come to a screen, and when you come to the screen, there's a couple of things I want you to check. Number one, if it says in red that you're missing a counselor, you need to see me immediately. That should be rectified. That problem should be corrected. I went in today and changed everybody over to me. So there shouldn't be any problem with that. But if for some reason yours pops up, please let me know so I can get that fixed. Secondly, you're going to notice up here it says Common App Account Matching, and in this case, incomplete. I'll be talking to you later on about how to create a Common App account. We're not going to do that on this session. But if you are using a Common App account, meaning you are going to be applying to Common App schools, you'll be matching it to your Naviance account. Again, we're going to do that on a separate occasion. Now, we're going to scroll down, and you're going to notice that I put some schools in there already. Got the University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa, Auburn University, Sanford University. So I chose three in-state institutions. In this case, this year I chose Alabama. I have one out-of-state, Texas A&M, which a lot of people I know are applying to this year. And then lastly, I chose another school that's way out of the southeast, and that is Villanova University. So we've got 5 schools listed. You'll notice over here that these icons will tell you a whole lot, I should say, about the type of school that you're applying to. If you look at this one, this is going to denote an electronic application. What that means is when you begin to apply, you apply directly into the college website. This one right here is a Common App school. That's why you see the CA inside this icon. The other icon that denotes Common App is sometimes you'll see a question mark inside of here, and that oftentimes means it's a Common App school as well. This right here is supposed to look like a postage stamp. This denotes that this is print or mail only. In other words, if you're applying to this school and you're outside the state of Texas, then in all likelihood, you're not going to be able to do anything electronically. Now, I will say if you are a resident of Texas and you apply to a Texas state school, you can apply through the Apply Texas website. You can submit your application that way as well, but what you cannot do is have me send transcripts, letters of recommendation, and any other supporting detail or information regarding your application through Naviance. The state does not accept Naviance or parchment. So that's why you'll see that print only. What that tells me and should tell you is this is going to have to be mailed. So we have to print it and mail it off in an envelope, USPS or FedEx. If that's something you want to do, you just need to let me know. The parents or guardian for the cadet will be charged, but not a bad option. Over here, you're also going to notice deadlines. So right now, University of Alabama and Samford aren't listing any. That's probably because they're going to be a rolling admission school. They'll be accepting students most likely into the spring. Here under Auburn, we have what could be a regular decision school. It's showing January 15th, 2017. Texas A&M, denotes December 1st, 2018. So we'll need to check on that. And then the last one for Villanova, they have a January 15th, 2017 date. This is most likely going to be a regular decision day, but we can check. So what we do is we go up to the school, click on the hyperlink. It's going to bring us to a page, and on this page, not only am I going to get a sense of some of the parameters or particulars of the school, things like, in this case, Cadet Rockstar has a GPA of 3.5, and the typical incoming freshman at the University of Alabama has a 3.1. The typical SAT score of an incoming freshman from Alabama right now is a 1324, and out of a 1600 SAT, which is actually the new SAT, you'll see it's 1069. So roughly a 530 to 540 in math verbal is going to secure you an admittance to University of Alabama. Now certainly they may take lower, because if you look over here under the ACT composite, you see 23. There's a little bit of discrepancy in these numbers. Also, something to note about Alabama is they're going to be very receptive to out-of-state students. But in any case, you're going to notice there's lots of tabs here. It gives information in terms of admissions, financial aid, majors and degrees, student life. So this is really good information for you to know exists for the school. The other thing that's going to be nice about this is if I click here where it says apply online, it's going to bring me right to the portal page that I need for undergrad admission application for University of Alabama. So we go under entering freshman students, and then we would click down to where it says apply, and let's see, there it is. So we're going to click on online application, and then I'll scroll down again, still just kind of following the icons that, pretty intuitive. And then there you are. That's where you're going to create your first time user account creation. That'll be the logon and PIN for the accounts. You'll not only create this, but you need to save this information. What I recommend you do is maybe a separate Word document somewhere in your cadet file folders that you can easily get to, but I would make them all the same. I would not change it for each and every school. Otherwise, it's a lot of information to track. Okay? So that's kind of how we go about navigating to find schools. Now, one thing I kind of did ahead of you is I added some of these schools into the list. So let me show you how you add a school to the list. If I click add to this list, it's going to bring me to a page that allows me to look up schools. So I'm going to use this link over here for lookup. And let's say we're interested in Georgia. So we'll type in University of Georgia, and it's going to bring it up under College Picker, and I'm going to click on it. And then you'll notice there it is, regular decision. Now you can change that, because this will give you all the different types of action decisions that are available to all schools. Normally I would leave it just as it appears with regular decision, and then when you pull down to the bottom, you're going to add this to your list. And here we are back at the main page again, and you'll notice University of Georgia. There it is. Okay, so this is an electronic application, so that's good to know. We're going to be applying right through the main portal. There's another deadline of January 15th, so you start to see a recurring theme here. January 15th is a pretty popular regular decision deadline for some schools out there. Again, clicking on University of Georgia, it'll bring me to that page that you saw earlier. And not only that, I'll probably be able to find out exactly all the decision deadlines they do offer. So you'll notice right here I have a regular decision deadline of January 15th. I also have an early action decision of October 15th. So one thing that's important to note, and I actually sent this out to you last week, is sometimes schools that offer early action will also offer regular decision. And not only that, if you're competitive, maybe not so competitive for early action, but competitive enough that they would still consider you for decision to the school, they'll roll you from an early action pile to a regular decision pile. So another little tidbit kind of to hang on to and remember. Right here, the application history, this is the amount of students that applied to the University of Georgia by year. So you'll note that last year we had 20 apply, we had 3 admitted. In 14 we had 15 apply, 3 admitted. Would be my first year. Is it my first? Yeah, my first year back. Or no, pardon me, second year back. We only had 8 apply and none admitted. So not a big year for Georgia, but last year definitely was. 3 admits, and as I understand, all are attending. So that just gives you an overview of kind of how these tabs work. So that's the colleges I'm applying to. Now let's look at letters of recommendation. So I'm going to click on letters of recommendation, and you're going to notice that I've already gone ahead and submitted a request to a teacher. So in this case, I've made up a teacher. Teacher's name is John Deere. So here he is right here. He teaches agricultural sciences. I had him as a pretend student last year. Boy, I really loved this class, so I'm asking him for a letter of recommendation. So what I did is I clicked on add request, and it's going to allow me to select a teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of pretend like I'm selecting one. So let's say Master Sergeant Bagwell. I have him for history. I really love him. Maybe I'm taking him for AP Psych right now. The guy's awesome. I just love that class. So I'm going to go ahead and click him, and then number 2 is going to ask me select which colleges this request is for. Normally you're going to click all, and then what you would do is you would scroll down. You would add in a personalized note. Dear Master Sergeant Bagwell, really loved having you last year as a teacher, this year as a teacher as well. I was really hoping I could count on you for a letter of recommendation. And at that point, and I'll get into this later with you, but there's 3 different ways we can request letters of recommendation from teachers. I'm not going to go into that with you today, but I will follow up with you on how to do that. You would enter that information in, click save, and then it will know that you have requested this teacher electronically. The teacher will get an email, and once that email is received, the teacher, if you've already notified them, expects to see it. But what you don't want to do is go ahead in here, line up a bunch of teachers, request them, and not even give them a heads up it's coming. Because if they don't know it's coming, it's not something they're going to be alerted to if they're not logged in to Naviance. And they're not normally going to be logged in every day. So you need to speak with them, communicate with them on a daily basis. If you are asking them for letters, you need to approach them before you submit the email request, and you need to provide information to help them write that letter. That's huge. If you don't do that, they are not required. Okay? Now in this case, I'm going to go ahead and back out since I'm not really going to do this one for today, but that's what it should look like. Now, something that's important to note is you will not be able to request teachers for letters of recommendation until you request from me a transcript. And if you look here under resources, you're going to see transcript where the mouse is right now. So if I click on that, one of the things that you want to do as soon as you begin to use Naviance is go into request transcripts and then click on request transcripts for my college applications. And you're going to click that, and then you're going to scroll down. Now I've already done this as this student. That's how I was able to add in the teacher recommendation, but let's just go through it because right now, since I've added a school, University of Georgia is showing as it needs a request. So you would click add request, and again, normally you would do this for every school that you're applying to. Again, I've already added schools in. This is just an additional school that I put in. I'm going to go to the bottom and hit request transcripts, and now you can see all the requests that have been submitted so far by the student to me, the college counselor, that need to be uploaded into their account. So as the student Cadet R Rockstar, earlier today I requested Auburn, University of Georgia, Samford, Texas A&M, and Villanova. I put a transcript request in for them, and now I have a transcript request in for University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa. Again, you cannot request teachers until you request the transcript. So one of the first things you have to do when you log in, I'll show you again, as you're coming into that main page, you need to make sure you find under resources transcripts and request the transcripts. First things got to be done. Second, like I showed you just a moment ago, go to colleges I'm applying to, make sure everything is correct here, make sure you add your list of schools and understand what the submissions mean and understand those deadlines. If you have any questions, by clicking on the link for the school, it will explain to you pretty much everything you need to know. It'll oftentimes give you a tab for the application portal, but it'll always give you information on what they're looking for in terms of average GPA, average test scores, the application history that we have there. It'll also tell you how the how the application will be completed. It will give you deadlines. It oftentimes will give you an address for undergrad admissions as well. Okay, so it's very, very helpful. This right here is helpful too because this is going to be where you send the SAT, ACT scores. So if I'm trying to send my SAT scores, that's the seed code. And if I'm trying to send my ACT scores, that's the ACT code. So a different day, a different story when I talk to you about how to send test scores, but that'll be important information to know. However, you can look that up within ACT and SAT. Okay, so the last thing I want to make sure we understand is, I'm going to go back to the beginning, is letters of recommendation, colleges I'm applying to, transcript requests. All right, the last one is the letters of rec, and that's actually the first thing I showed you here. So I'm kind of moving things around a little bit on you, but for today, for this session, please log in. If you have issues with logging in, use last name followed by the first two letters of the first name, and then your username, pardon me. It most likely will not be with @riversidemilitary.com, but if you try it and it doesn't work, try it with @riversidemilitary.com. Then make sure with the password, if it's the first time you're logging in, use the same login that you used the first time you entered into your cadet email account. Once you're in, you should be able to adjust those under Manage My Account. It should allow you to adjust username, password, and I can, as it says, please contact the counseling office for assistance with your password. I can help you reset it. There are some other tabs here under Career, My Planner, and About Me. I am not necessarily going to show you much information with these, and I'll tell you why. In that it's kind of late to really start playing with all the different features of Naviance. Right now, what I want you to make sure you understand is how to use the college tab, how to use colleges I'm applying to, the letters of recommendation, the transcript requests. That's the most important thing that you need to take away from this. Now, there are some other areas that you may have some interest once you get your applications under control. Scholarships and money. The scholarship list is something that I've built on my own, that things that have come in through the office that I thought were worthwhile. So if you see all these links, you can click on them. We may have a connection to something that maybe falls within the parameter of who you are as a person, your background. So lots of things there to look at. But I also recommend FastWeb. FastWeb's great because it's going to have access to hundreds of thousands of scholarship opportunities. So something to consider. Gentlemen, that's it for today. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and log out. And again, if you have any questions, follow up with me directly. I hope this video has been informative, something you're going to be able to use. All right, take care.